So in this video I'm going to show you how to create a simple banner using Flash. Now the first thing you're going to do is to create a new file. So up here where it says create new, you create a new ActionScript 3.0 file. And then the next thing you want to do is adjust your stage to be the correct size for a banner. So with nothing selected, in your properties window you'll see the properties for your document and your stage. And down here you'll see the size, 550 by 400 pixels. Okay. So I'd like to edit those properties. So I can click on my edit button and I can change the width to be 468 pixels and the height to be 60. Now I got my stage the correct size for a banner. I can zoom in on my banner a little bit so that I can see him properly. Now the first thing I'd like to do is I'm going to have the background change from one color to another color. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to draw a rectangle with my shape tool and then tween that rectangle to be a different color. So the first thing to do is to draw a rectangle. So come over here to your toolbar. If your rectangle is not showing, your rectangle tool is not showing, you'll click on that little triangle on the right where you can select a rectangle. When drawing your rectangle, start in the upper left hand corner, click and drag down to the lower right hand corner. The color of my rectangle will be my default fill color, which is black in this case, and my stroke color, my outline of my rectangle, is gray. Now for my rectangle, I think I would like it to have no stroke color. So I chose the stroke color and told it no color. With my rectangle selected on the stage, you can see that my properties for my rectangle is over here on the right in the properties panel. Now I'd like to change my width and my height of my rectangle to be exactly the size as my stage. So I can click on the width and height of my rectangle and choose 468 by 60. I'd also like my rectangle to be exactly aligned with my stage. So I'll change the X and Y coordinates to 0, which will put that upper left hand corner to the upper left hand corner of the stage and make it exactly the size as my stage. Now I'd like to tween this object and change it to a different color. So with my selection tool, I'm going to right click on my rectangle and tell it to create a shape tween. You can add a shape tween to a drawing object. Okay. So I added my shape tween, and if you come down here to the timeline, you can see that in my timeline my keyframe did turn green. Now I'd like this color to maybe take about 2 seconds, this color morph. So my frames per second are 24, so if I'd like it to take 2 seconds, I'm going to go up to frame 48 here. So the first thing to do to make our shape tween, or actually the second thing to do, would be to add a keyframe to frame 48. So I select frame 48 and I press my F6 key. Notice that my tween has now extended because I did put a keyframe into frame 48. The arrow shows that it is changing from one keyframe to the next keyframe. So on my first keyframe, I will leave it black. Remember to move your playhead or to click on frame 48 because this is where you want it to change colors. And on this frame, I'm going to click on my shape. I'm going to change the color to something other than black. And now I can see that my morph does indeed take place. I can test this out by hitting Control Enter. I can see that my Swift file does indeed run. It turns from black to yellow, and my banner is working. So I'm going to have to continue the rest of making this banner in the next video. I'm running out of time, so stay tuned.